What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at the Open Great League, and the team we're going to be taking a look at today is Dedenne, Credilli, and Shadow Annihilate. This is a team that was actually submitted to the channel by Captain Broken, and he says, I was lucky enough to get a rank 1 Dedenne and a rank 1 Credilli during GoFest and Fossil Research Day, and I paired it up with Shadow Annihilate, which is a monster with 2 shields, and this team turned out better than I expected. So it makes sense. You've got one really bulky Pokemon in Credilli, one artificially bulky Pokemon in Dedenne, and then you have 2 shields to save for Annihilate in the back. It can get a little tricky if Dedenne needs to use a shield in order to outpace and get that parabolic charge off, but I imagine that's why we have it on the lead, because it does have pretty good pacing. That said, before we hop into the battles, I want to say a special thank you to the expert trainer members on this channel: Benny Hemlock, Dr. Ian Mustache, Soham Patil, CD Slaskus, and Eliana, as well as the legend trainer members on this channel: Big Burden, Andrew Pitton, Musachu, Noodleman, Speedster, Esteros, Liminal Lagomorph, Tom Spencer, and Fast Idiot Boss. Without further ado, let's hop into some battles. Into the first match, we've got Dedenne into Credilli. Now this is a tough lead, so because we have to come in with our own Credilli, but we're down energy, but the opponent makes a huge mistake. Instead of just staying in and outpacing to the Rock Tomb, they come in with a Gallisapod, which is going to have to shield or get taken out by a Rock Tomb. The opponent ends up committing the shield, and then they throw on alignment, allowing an entire acid in for free. We know we can survive this because we've debuffed their attack already once, and now here comes a Rock Tomb number 2. This will potentially threaten the knockout. It is super effective damage. The opponent lets it go. They give up switch and shield advantage, and that is absolutely massive because Annihilate on the Credilli is a fantastic matchup. I would just let this go. No, one Grass Knot is not going to take out here, and we know they're going to have an answer to Shadow Annihilate in the back because they have a Credilli on the lead. And obviously Dedenne, you're planning on hoping can sweep this game, and there you go. There is the flyer in the back to cover the Credilli's weaknesses. When you think about what covers Credilli, like Jealous and Talonflame cover most of its weaknesses defensively, so that's why I said leave your Dedenne with 2 shields rather than shielding your Annihilate, because they can't acid farm you down. That said, I think we're still going to win this game. They go for the Rock Tomb. It's not enough to pick up the knockout. Now here comes a Play Rough, and Play Rough from this range picks up the knockout on the Credilli, and we are able to take a Game 1 win. Into the next match, we've got a fantastic lead, Dedenne into Mandibuzz. The opponent is going to safe switch into a Fortress, and we have a fantastic response in Shadow Annihilate. Shadow Annihilate double resisting the bug bites because it's single resisted on Ghost and single resisted on Fighting, and they can't go for Rock Tomb here because that is resisted, so they have to settle for a Sand Tomb, and that just does not do any damage, and it doesn't make the bug bites add up anymore. We get the full counter farm down. Are they going to come back in with the Mandibuzz? They are, and now this is where it's nice having Ice Punch for coverage, because this is a boosted Shadow Ice Punch coming the Mandibuzz's way. It's super effective damage. It puts them into the yellow health range, and we come in with Credilli. I'm going to go at quick pause because we've only got 5 battles, I believe, submitted here. In a situation like that, your safe switch is always Credilli. I understand not wanting to give up farm. I think that's actually the correct play. It's pivoting out of that matchup because you don't know what's in the back, but just come in with your safe switch. You know Credilli is your safe switch for a reason because it's safe, and if they end up switching out of that matchup from your Credilli, then you have the alignment with Dedenne, and if they don't, then you have Rock Tomb for the Mandibuzz. So either way, we end up drawing out a Stunfisk in the back. Stunfisk will be hit with the Play Rough. They are going to let that go. Still 2 shields in play on both ends. And the question is, are we going to shield this up? No, we are just going to let this go, letting the Dedenne go down. This won't be enough to pick up the knockout because Stunfisk just doesn't hit very hard. Probably just going to have to sacrifice this here and then just 2 shield Dedenne. No, actually going to shield this up. Now going for the Play Rough. This will do some decent shit, but it won't pick up the knockout. The opponent knows this, so they let that go as well. And instead, you actually make a really nice catch onto the Shadow Annihilate in the back. Mud Bomb picks up the knockout. Now do we get the energy lead on Credilli? I think that is what we should do. In comes the Credilli. They pivot into their Mandibuzz. I would probably just shield this up. This is the hardest hitting charge move they have left, and you're going to boost your defense by lowering their attack. You end up throwing an alignment for a fast move like Air Slash. You want to throw one fast move and then your charge move. See, now that they've shielded this next charge move will do even less, but you're actually going to get the catch as soon as they get to the next charge move, which is really nice. The opponent should go for an undercharge and then pivot and go for a full farm down, but instead they stay in this matchup. You end up going for a parabolic charge. There is all types of crazy things going on in this matchup. they're going to commit to the farm down. They kind of have to let this go because they need to survive a grass knot from the Credilli. The opponent does actually let it go, playing to the win con, but the acids are just going to do too much damage. They would need 3 mud bombs at this point in order to take the win. You are just going to let the mud bomb go. Acid gets the farm down of the Stunfisk, and you are able to take a game 2 win. Into the next match, we've got Dedenne into Jumpluff. This is a decent lead. It kind of depends on if the opponent is on the double flying moveset or not. If they're on Energy Ball, it's still an okay matchup because you outpace to the first charge move, and Parabolic Charge, of course, raises your defense. They are going to go for the charge move right away. This could be the Energy Ball, or going to let it go. It's just an aerial ace bait. Maybe the opponent on the double flying moveset, or maybe just making a very terrible bait there. But going to connect with Parabolic Charge number 2. Now your defense is 2 times raised. If the opponent, are they going to full send the Energy Ball this time? No, they're on Acrobatics, and that still does very little damage. In comes a Tentacruel now to be met with the Parabolic Charge number 3. And the question is, do you just stay in this matchup? Yeah, these acids are not doing any damage. You grab a shield, you may as well get to another. The opponent ends up throwing on the CMP tie as well. So at this point, if this doesn't KO, I would just let the Dedenne go down. You are 4 times boosted, but you can just come in with your Annihilate. No, okay. So you're going for the shield. There's not really any point in doing this. I know they're not going to get to another charge move, but having that shield advantage, I know you're probably reading they are weak to this in the back, and they are, but they're also weak to Annihilate in the back. So honestly, this is okay, because then you could have just aligned the Credilli on the Jumpluff, and you would have been fine. That said, Hydro Cannon is going to get shielded up. You are going to go for the Grass Knot to pick up the knockout. They have no shields left in play, so this is massive overkill. It picks up the knockout on the Greninja. In comes the Jumpluff, and they just cannot get to enough charge moves here. Even an Acrobatics from this range without the debuff wouldn't take out, but here it comes. Rock Tomb picks up the knockout on the Jumpluff, and you are able to take that win. Into the next match. Decent lead. It kind of depends on the fast move of the opponent. They are on Shadow Claw, so this opponent could make this matchup a little bit tricky. They're going to throw it right on 6. This could be enough for the Shadow Sneak. I know most Dedenne like to shield this, or the Ancient Power, yep. And then they end up getting a really nice catch of the Play Rough onto a Fortress in the back. But in comes the Annihilate. This is going to set up the Annihilate for a huge farm down, which is massive, because you can come out with energy to threaten the Giratina. The opponent, I think, tried to commit to a Earthquake there, ends up not getting there, and instead of coming in with the Giratina, they're going to come in with the Dedenne because they don't want to shield up a Rage Fist. But here comes Rage Fist number 2. You end up playing to the CMP tie. Definitely want to throw that one sooner there, because now you have to commit the shield, and Annihilate doesn't really have play into the Giratina in the back when it doesn't have any energy. So unfortunately, I think you had to just let that go, because yeah, they're just going to sacrifice, and they're going to 2 shield Giratina. Trusting in Giratina, you can get one final Rage Fist to at least grab the first shield from the opponent, but they are going to get the full farm down, so instantly pivot into the Credilli. I like this play because now you can boost, or you can debuff their attack permanently that they have no other Pokemon remaining. They are going to get to back-to-back Dragon Claws before you get to charge move number 1, but that it does not matter. It's not enough to pick up the knockout. Giratina just does not hit very hard, and Credilli is very bulky, and now it's going to be even worse for the opponent. They do end up committing the shield to the Rock Tomb. They're looking for the farm down. They know they can't get it. They're forced to throw energy here with the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw, not quite enough to pick up the knockout, so in comes the Dedenne. All we have to do is make it to 1 Play Rough, and we know we can survive an Ancient Power from this range because their attack is lowered. Can we outpace? We can outpace, making it to the Play Rough, and Play Rough is super effective damage. It will pick up the knockout on the Giratina, and you are able to take that win. Great lead in the next match. We've got Dedenne into Shadow Pidgeot, and the opponent is staying in. That is absolutely insane. I probably would have thrown a little bit sooner there. You can throw right on 5. The opponent shields that up. Honestly, they might full send the Brave Bird here, but you can survive this. I probably would have committed the shield because you know they're going to full send the Brave Bird, and you end up throwing an alignment. You should throw 1 Thunder Shock and the charge move as opposed to 2 there. But you do take the 1-0 shield scenario, and what's in the back? It is a Annihilate. So definitely just stay in this matchup, let them get the farm down, come in with the Annihilate, and it is a Hackmo in the back. And unfortunately, you have to come in with Credilli here, but Credilli is completely walled. So this is actually a pretty awkward matchup. They are going to lower your defense with a Brick Break. You kind of just have to let this go because you can instantly lower their attack right back down. And then I would just stay in, take the next charge move, go for another Rock Tomb, and then just pivot into your Annihilate. It looks like they might be able to pick up the knockout here, but I would just let this go. Commit your 2 shields onto the Annihilate, and you should be good to go. Dragonclaw does pick up the knockout. In comes the Annihilate, and back in comes the Bastiodon. And yeah, this game is over, so the opponent resigns the match, and you are able to take that win. So yeah, that's going to be it. This is kind of a short video, but it is a showcase. I only got 5 battles submitted, and usually I do a more in-depth analysis of these battles, but there wasn't too much to analyze there that I wasn't able to kind of input throughout the matches. But yeah, that's going to be it for me from this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, peace.